seconds remaining.
Welcome back once again, ladies and gentlemen, to day 15 coverage of Starladder Season 8, right at that halfway point here in our first 30 days of Round Robin. Thank you for joining us here on Beyond the Summit. I am Zyori. Joining me once again is the mighty Merlini, and we've got Relax, You're Doing Fine, aka Team Poseidon, going up against Mouz Sports here. Merlini, what is the good word? Last match of the day on this fine Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, it's unfortunately the last match I will be casting with you for a while, but this one should be a pretty close one. Poseidon versus Mouz. Both teams have played earlier today, although Mouz not in the Starladder. Mouz played in another league, I believe, but they faced off versus VP, and that was actually a pretty decent match. They got rolled by Bristleback, so I'm very unsurprised to see them second pick it, if not ban it. And Poseidon, they faced off earlier today, but also not in Starladder. This was versus rox.kis. They kind of just got steamrolled by rox.kis. It wasn't too much to that match.
Yeah. Well, RX have been doing sort of up and down. They are a new roster, and they're still sort of struggling to find that team synergy, and we'll see how they fare here. I do like that fourth ban, though. The Abaddon makes a lot of sense against the Bristleback, as we saw in the last game. Those two together are dirty, dirty business.
Yeah, they really are.
Yeah, it was a CM first pick here for RX, and interesting Rubik first pick from Mouz. I guess one of the heroes that they do like to run quite a bit, but still I don't see Rubik in that first picking group all too often.
Well, remember when we saw Crits Rubik the other day? The one
yeah.
that destroyed Alliance.
He stole the Eclipse and then Eclipsed and then stole it again, and that was
yeah. And he farmed a Scepter. He was really fast, level 6. So I think that Mouz Sports, they know something about Rubik that we don't. So I'll be keeping an eye on him. You keep an eye out on the lanes. I'll watch a Crit Jungle with him, and he is on Radiant again. So we'll see what he's up to. They might do this only on Radiant side too. I don't actually know who had first pick or like choosing side or draft, but it looks like Mouz had second pick, so they probably picked Radiant.
Yeah, that's
for this
right.
Particular reason.
It was a CM first pick, so they definitely. Well, I think that means if you either pick first pick or side, right? So if you don't have first pick, you get to pick side. Yeah,
right.
So they are going to take Radiant. All right, interesting.
Or no, you either pick. I think it's either pick or side. Like you can either take first pick or second pick if you want it. Same like as you can choose sides. So yeah, you can pick either one. I mean, generally it's first pick or first side because generally people think that first pick is better. But some teams actually prefer second pick.
Yeah. On the notion of sides, since we're talking about it here, and this draft is going by reasonably slow, is there a side that you prefer? Do you think one side has an edge over the other, or is it all about team preference?
Just very small. I mean, I think they're balanced. They're different. They're separate but equal, I guess, or they're different but balanced. Like, I didn't know a better way to put it. But on the top lane, Dire side, you have easier access to neutral camps, which is good for Radiant off lane, but it's also good for Dire safe lane. So it depends on what you want to run there. Like a Clinks is good in either of those. And it's good aggro tri-lane if you want to do an aggro tri-lane because you can utilize that pool for yourself. I think that junglers have a slightly easier time on the Radiant side because of the close proximity of the 3 camps. I would talk about the draft, but it's very standard. So if something's exciting at all, we can go back to that. But the Radiant jungle, very close 3 camps. Which is very useful for Enigma and or Chen. As a mid, it's easier to stack the Ancients as a Beastmaster and or Tinker, both who utilize Ancient stacks. So if you play either of those, then Radiant's way better. It's also slightly more difficult to gank mid as if you're playing Radiant. I'd say it's like you can't gank from the left side because you're even ground and there's not that many. There's like no trees obscuring, so it's very easy to reveal smokes. But at the same time, you can wrap around from back. And then on Dire side, you can come from like either side, and it's pretty good. The top side's uphill, the right side is obscured by trees. So if you want to put a lot of pressure on mid, I think that Radiant side is slightly better. Dire obviously has Roshan control, but the Ancients was way far away from anything else. Yeah. And what else is there? Like there's like the Clockwork Earthshaker stuff that you can do on the right side as an offlaner. So it's separate but equal. I wouldn't say I prefer either side.
Okay. All right. So just depending on what strategy you want to go for, what kind of heroes you want to run, one side may be better than the other. Yeah.
It's strategic though, for sure.
So if a team is going level 1 Roche, is it usually the case that they'll favor Dire side?
Yeah, almost always.
Almost always. Okay.
Yeah, you should not do level 1 Roche on Radiant unless you have like some ninja lineup that no one would ever expect it. But yeah, it's like even if you die, you can like sell your items and TP back, and you're like right there as Dire. You might want to think like, well, it's level 1 who's going to TP there, but I mean, you can TP to defend Roshan. It's sometimes pretty important. It's cool.
It's cool. That's a good
one. Oh, there's a Spectre pick. Spectre pick's cool.
Yes, this Spectre pick is very cool. And that was the next thing I wanted to bring up here. Thoughts about Spectre right now? We don't see him all too often. Is he sort of weak, strong, right in the middle, niche pick? What's the deal with Spectre?
He's right in the middle. I would say he works well in certain lineups. He doesn't work well in certain lineups. I think he works really well when you can put a lot of pressure on the other team as 4. He also works really well in tandem with Nature's Prophet, as well as other global ultimates. I wouldn't say Ancient Apparition though, because I think he's a really weak support. I think that Zeus works really well with him. What are there any other global heroes?
Of course, you think Zeus works well with him. Isn't that your signature hero?
He works. Yeah, he works awesomely with. Oh, I would like to see more Zeus, but teams don't really seem to like to pick him. But yeah, Spectre, Nature's Prophet works extremely well, and Nature's Prophet, like, not only are they both global, he can actually like help him out a lot early game. And any hero on the map that is like even at like half HP, you can just pick him off by both of them doing that. And the split push is amazing. Spectre's, I think, one of the most underrated parts about him is that he can split push out lanes without actually it costing him anything. Like a lot of the time, it's opportunity cost. Like, oh, if they take a fight away from a T2 tower or a T1, then I'm not going to be able to get there in time. But Spectre doesn't have to worry about that at all, and can farm up heavily compared to other carries because of that.
Right. And they did change his ult recently now, where when he can hop to the different ones once he ults, right? It's not just a one and done. So that
no. Is what happened is you used to, if you haunt, you would if you reality to your illusion, so it makes 5 illusions, right? One on each hero. If you teleport to one of them, all your illusions used to disappear.
Yes.
And now they don't disappear.
Oh, okay, but you can't hop in between them. It's just
No, you can't hop in between them.
Last. Okay, all right. My mistake. I knew there was a change. I had it backwards in my head.
I don't believe you can hop in between them. I'm like I'm like 98% sure that you can't hop in between
I'm not sure why I thought that. Maybe somebody just mentioned it once or said it would be cool, and I misinterpreted. I don't know.
I don't think Spectre can handle a Bristleback late game though. I don't even think he can handle a mid game. So I'm not a big fan of the Spectre pick in this particular draft.
Yeah, but you should be happy about that Death Prophet 5th pick here for Mouz Sports.
It's ownage, I'm telling you. That hero is so good. But one thing about Relax's lineup is they have not. If they lose the early game, like Death Prophet just takes out all their towers, which I mean, if they 5v4, Relax doesn't really have a chance to 4-on-5 them, not with this lineup. So I see Mouz Sports just like taking out most of their towers early, Spectre getting underfarmed, and then at that point it's like, can Spectre get enough farm to defend against a T3 push? That's how I see this game going, and it's a very generic outlook, but just from the get-go and the lineups, I think that Mouz Sports has a very, very strong tri-lane with Bristleback, Rubik, and Lion, whereas Relax, theirs is like mediocre, I'd say. I mean, they could do Rubik, Alchemist, Lion, and then offlane Bristleback, which I think would not be too good for Mouz Sports, just because they need to try and keep Spectre down. Spectre is the most important part of Relax's lineup right now. Timbersaw is going to get levels and farm no matter what. Visage and CM, they're both very, very good support. So the only weak part of their lineup is Spectre, and they need to focus on that and capitalize on it, either by shutting him down in a triple lane, her down in a tri lane rather, and taking down towers, or just doing one or the other. I would suggest both though if I were in Mouz Sports position.
Yeah, I like this roster from Mouz Sports, though. Very aggressive. A lot of crowd control. They've got the silences from Death Prophet, and I think they should have, as you mentioned, no trouble knocking down those Tier 1 and Tier 2 towers. It's going to be all about that Tier 3, how farmed is Spectre. I would absolutely agree with that analysis. Bat Rider will be the final pick for Relax, so they are going to get a good bit of initiation here. No, not a bad roster, but I just like that Mouz Sports one a little bit more. They've got a lot more lockdown, a lot more burst, and a bit more pushing power as well. I really like the Lion pick here. I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, the Bat Rider, I wouldn't say it's bad. I was thinking more like Puckish. I guess Puck's not very good versus Lion though, and he can't really hold it versus Bristleback. But like Bristleback's going to be way up in the front, right? And if Bat Rider lassos him, are you really going to be able to burst them down? Maybe. It's still very risky though, and especially if they counter with like a Rubik lift or a Lion Hex, like Batrider is just done. So I think it's a very risky proposition going for a Batrider here. Like if you don't get the bristleback, he's most likely just going to go on the Batrider, and then Batrider is like forced to just run away. And I don't know, it just doesn't seem like the front line that they need versus the bristleback. Because if you just let bristleback just like go up in your face and spam quill spray when you're pushing or getting pushed, then you're most likely just going to lose the fight, just because you're going to take so much spam damage without doing any yourself. And yeah, Batrider, he's a good 4v5 hero though. He's a good space creator, which is exactly what Relax needed though. So that's a very good role.
Yeah, hopefully he does all right in this laning phase. In the mid, that's where Batrider struggles a little bit more now, with that base damage lowered quite a bit in the last 6.79 patch. Sometimes in that mid lane he can fall behind and we'll have to retreat to the jungle. But we'll see. Let's look at these rosters here, see where folks are going to lane. Up on our rating side, we're going to have Team Mouz up in the top lane. It is going to be Ace playing on the Bristleback. Looks like he will be solo long lane Bristleback. Rai is going to be playing on the Lion. Crit going to be on Rubik. Both of them will be supporting the bottom lane. They are stationed about the Radiant Ancients at present, but will make their way down. Exist going to be solo mid on the Alchemist here, and he should do pretty well against this Batrider, I think. He should be able to zone him out pretty well with Acid Spray. He has a huge last hit advantage in terms of just that starting right click. And did start with a magic stick as well. Down to the bottom, Hesta Joe going to be playing on the Nature's Prophet, or Jesus, Death Prophet, already off to a bad start here. And he needs his fix, so hopefully he's going to get it in this game. On the Dire side, going to have Team RX, Relax, you're doing fine, aka Poseidon. In the off lane, going to be Sachlo playing on the Timber Saw. In the mid, it will be Tame My Wild on that Batrider. And then up in the top, going to have a bit of a tri-lane here. Nexus going to be on the hard farming Spectre. Dread going to be supporting on the Visage, one of his signature heroes. And KSI going to be on the Crystal Maiden. So
fix of Death Prophet.
Yeah, he needs his fix. Uh-oh.
Death Prophet in a lot of trouble. Or not Death Prophet, yeah, Batrider.
Batrider.
So much trouble.
I think he's going to fall. So much crowd control between these three heroes. Telekinesis, Hex, there's the concoction. And yes, Tame My Wild will indeed concede that first blood. Exist going to grab the last hit on, of course, the Alchemist player here. Batrider will port right back into the lane, but not a good start. So let's pretend that first blood didn't happen. Alchemist versus Batrider. Who do you favor here? And whoa, actually, Alchemist taking a lot of damage.
Definitely Bat. Bat wins most one-on-one matchups.
Really? Even with that low base damage?
Yeah, I think so. The napalm stacks are just so difficult to deal with. And even if you magic stick it up, you still have the potential of getting died with like 3 or 4 stacks on you. So you always have to back off, and you miss a lot of CS because of that. And the base damage nerf is just one napalm stack, which only costs 20 mana. So not a big deal for him. TFW should not have that bad of a look at his last hits. He's already 8-1. Compared to Alchemist 1-0, so he gave up first blood, but his CS is ridiculously good, and he's way further ahead than exists right now.
You know, maybe it was just the last Batrider I saw didn't do so well, because this is much better than what I was thinking. I think I saw Batrider Shadow Fiend a few days ago, and the Batrider just got completely annihilated. And
even skilled Batrider should win like almost every matchup, I'd say. Some ones that he doesn't fare too well against, I think one is Storm. Looks like he's trying to contest his room. Exist is going to get it though, unless he has a sick Flame Break, but he doesn't have Flame Break skilled. But I don't actually know who Batrider loses to though. Queen of Pain does okay versus him. I saw Dendy's OD get crushed by Honey's Batrider. So, like, even at the very, very high skill, a Batrider still does very, very well.
All right. Well, good to know. And there seems to be evidence here in this game. Up in the top lane, though, Ace going to be in some trouble. KSI going to come around the backside, and Ace just in a really aggressive position here. It's going to cost him. That will be a kill coming out for RX. And Ace just really getting aggressive.
Shashlo on bottom.
Oh, down to the bottom lane. Yeah, Sachlo going to be in some trouble here. It is going to be a 3v1, going to try and Timber Chain away, and he may have been able to escape if they didn't finish him off right there. So nicely done. That will be 2-1 here at the 3-minute mark. Mouz going to find the better of it, but still, Ace conceding that death up top, kind of sad.
Yeah, Ace can't die on top. If he goes for a Visage kill and gives Spectre a kill as a result, it's totally not worth it. He needs to get levels, he needs to get experience, and he needs to not die. Because Nexus is already going to be big as is, just free farming versus Bristleback. He doesn't need to be any bigger, so he needs to watch that. Same with Shoshlo. It's not as important that a Timbersaw doesn't die because he is not that farm dependent. And Death Prophet's most likely going to get farm anyways. But Death Prophet can get out of control early too. She does have a Basilius, so if Shashlo dies one more time, they can get a lot of damage on the towers. So both of these offlaners need to mitigate their deaths. But I mean, in a 3-on-1 situation, there's not really too much you can do if you want to get like at least some semblance of farm. Alchemist did get the 2-minute rune in a DD, so he should be okay in mid. TMW stacking up exists though.
Yeah. So have you been holding up your end of the bargain here? Have you been paying close attention to Crit on this Rubik to see what he does?
I have not been. I wanted to, but then he was ganking. We see Ace about to die.
Uh-oh, yeah, down he goes. Caught the last tail end of it. So not going to take heed to your advice here. Now Nexus going to have himself 2 assists to play with.
Okay, I'll watch Crit. Okay, I'm just watching Crit now.
Yeah. Well, he did pull from the middle lane here into that hard camp. So he's doing pretty well, though. He's level 4 already. Not too bad. He is the highest of the supports, it seems.
Yeah.
So off to a good start once again.
And he has 7 Tangos for some reason.
Yeah.
Which is very unusual. Most people go Tango Self if you're going to get that much regen.
Uh-oh, Shiver DC. So, all tied up 2-2 here. Glancing at the graph, Relax do have a small advantage to start things off, but nothing too crazy here. Just a couple hundred gold back and forth. In the mid lane, Alchemist actually going toe-to-toe with Batrider in terms of net worth. Most of that because of the first blood, of course. But in terms of the CS battle, Batrider still getting the better of him. And yeah, here we go. Exist. Going to get lassoed into the tower. KSI going to come in with just about perfect timing. Frostbite, Flame Break, Crystal Nova. No way Exist surviving that one. And now Batrider will top the net worth chart sitting about 2.2k. Nice gank on that.
I'm very surprised that Mouz is going with the laning that they are, with Rise and Crit on bottom, and not choosing to shut the Spectre down and just letting Ace just die time and time again on top. It's not that important that Timbersaw gets zoned out. It's much more important that they keep the Spectre down, and they're not really zoning out the Timbersaw that much either. He's almost level 5. Ace is also level 5, but the trade-off there isn't worth it. A farm DP versus a farm Spectre, you'd rather your DP be less farmed. If both of them are going to be equal farm, you'd rather them both be less farmed than more farmed if you're in Mouse's position.
Yeah, absolutely. No doubt that Spectre is going to carry much harder than this Death Prophet and peak at slightly different times. In terms of item choice, though, on this Spectre, what are your thoughts? Just do you go tanky?
I really like
do you go damage? Drums?
I really like Tread's drums on him, and then after that you just do whatever. I think he really needs a large HP buffer, because if you survive fights, first off, if they focus you, you do a lot of dispersion damage, so you need HP. So I think that's why I like Treads over drums. But after that, he can go whatever. If he needs Diffusal, then he gets Diffusal. If he needs Manta, he gets Manta. If he gets Radiance, he gets Radiance. So, I mean, you can even get Midas after drums if you like really, really want to. But I think that phase drums or Treads drums, my definite preference is the Treads drums. But I know a lot of the professional players prefer phase drums for the extra chasing potential. And then you just play it out. If you have a lot of free farm and they play passively, then you just farm her Radiance and go really greedy. Because Heart would be really good for Spectre in this particular scenario. The evasion doesn't really, like if he goes Butterfly or Manta Butterfly, they have plenty of AoE to deal with the illusions.
Yeah, and that was going to be my next question. Is Radiance still a viable choice here? We'll hold that thought for a second. Yeah, as Exist is in some trouble. He's going to get lassoed again. Crystal Maiden going to come in. He's going to charge up the Concoction. Will be able to throw it on KSI, but it won't be enough to keep him alive. And that will be another kill going the way of RX. In the bottom lane, Hesta Joe did pop the Exorcism ulti there on Death Prophet and got that tower down to about half health, but Timbersaw was able to repel with that creep clearing that he has. But yeah, anyhow, the Radiance was going to be my next choice. Is that just only an option in that absolute kind of free farm, super amount of space environment? Kind of I think of that as more of kind of a pub build. I mean, you don't see pro players go the Radiance rush on Spectre anymore. It's just too risky, I guess.
The rush is definitely not good, just because almost every team will put out pressure like around the 10 to 15 minute mark, and that's when heavy pressure applies, and they have to have Spectre there for the fight, or they're just going to lose 4-on-5s. Nexus.
Oh, Spectre up in the top. Nexus going to fall. It's going to be a pretty easy kill. There's a double damage rune on Exist, and they may continue to pursue. Are they going to be able to grab Dread or KSI? Nope, they are going to split, and KSI still may be in some trouble here. That Concoction going to charge. It is going to connect. Now KSI in big trouble. Telekinesis going to come out. and they are going to be able to grab a 2-for-0 exchange up here in the top lane. Well played.
This is an instance of when observer wards actually hurt you rather than help you. They feel very safe with the observer ward, and they're just not expecting the gank at all. They come with smoke, Spectre dies, and CM who's there, he's like, I'm there for the gank in case they smoke up, but he's like not really that confident in it. If they don't have vision, they play much more scared, and they're like much better prepared for a gank because they don't have vision. But because they do have vision, they feel safe because they don't see anybody.
Yep, absolutely. Now, Batrider did do something interesting here. Usually that blink first is the item that we go for, and he is going to go for BOTs to start things off as he moves into the jungle, and it's going to be Dread that takes over the mid lane. It's
been more common recently.
Yeah.
Hani has gotten BOTs a lot. I forget who else does it. Bone7 maybe. One other guy gets BOTs fairly often, so it's not a bad build. It's really nice for efficiency. BOT makes your play really efficient, and he's like super efficient. He like double stacked both of these too, so he can still farm up Firefly or farm up with Firefly at a reasonable pace. He should still get his blink out by like 13 minutes, and having BOTs plus blink that early is just incredibly good. And Relax, they don't have to gank right now because they have the Spectre. So a huge Spectre will beat out like a huge almost any one of Mouz's heroes. Maybe not a Bristleback, but he'll still do pretty well. So they can play the farming game, they can play the passive game. If you're forced to gank, then yeah, you have to get blink. But if you can play it either way, you can just go BOT so you can be there when your team needs you and just farm up your blink dagger in the meantime.
Yeah,
he's already at 800 gold.
Yeah, exactly, and he's already picked up 2 kills, so it's not like he hit level 6 then just moved straight into the jungle. He grabbed 2 kills on that Alchemist before grabbing the BOTs and then going into hard farming in the jungle.
After giving up First Blood.
Yeah, after giving up First Blood, true. But still, been using that lasso.
No, that's even more impressive than he did it.
Oh, yeah, I see. I get you now. It took me a second, but I got you. So, a pretty quiet game, though. Both sides seem fairly comfortable farming, though, as I say, that ace could be under heavy fire here. KSI going to come in. BOTs on that Batrider going to come in handy. And he's going to initiate onto ace here. It looks like he does have a lasso. It should be an easy kill. Not even going to need the lasso. Flame Break going to knock him back. And Spectre going to put another one up on the board here. Now going to be 5-4 in favor of Team RX. They're off to a good start. And as you keep mentioning, even considering that they have Spectre for that bit of late game, the fact that they're winning in this early to mid game is all the better.
Yeah, Mouz should have you almost always need an early lead versus Spectre. If the team with a Spectre gets an early lead, you're in for a pretty bad mid game. Joe putting a lot of pressure on bottom, going with the Bloodstone first build. It looks like getting this tower down. This tower should go down very, very quickly, unless Spectre decides to TP in. But they need +1. They need Timbersaw plus Spectre +1 of the supports. But Vintage Birds will not be safe, and first tower down, so here the pressure begins, and they killed Spectre on top. So yeah, they're Relax playing maybe a little bit too passively because a TMW almost has his blink dagger. They need to watch out for when Batrider can be there and when he can't. He's already doing jungling right now. He was stacking. He can't be there for any of those fights.
Had a nice gank on the Spectre to start things off up top line. Did hit level 6 using that Finger of Death straight away. And did make for a pretty easy kill. So a nice little boost for Mouz. And all of a sudden that Cold Craft just going to jump into their favor. Pardon me. But still a nice experience lead for Relax. As Batrider continues to farm away. Now just about 300 gold off that Blink Dagger. So you are pretty spun on with that 13-minute estimate or so. He is also level 11. #1 in the game by 2 levels. So that's another bit of evidence in the favor of RX, perhaps.
Yeah, I underestimated how good of a Batrider player he is. He is like been playing extremely well, being very active and gank and still ganking at the same time. So he's able to do it all, farm and put pressure, which is just so important as a mid player. Nexus will TP in on top. TMW does not have his blink yet, so he's not really going to be able to do that much. He might actually get dove by Ace here, but he can just Firefly into trees if he needs to. But looks like Mouz is bringing their full force.
Yeah, all 5 going to rotate their way to the top lane. The top tier 1 tower will fall without the use of Exorcism, so now they may be able to continue pushing on and might be able to grab themselves a tier 2. Looks like RX are going to group up in mid. Dread and KSI going to pressure that tier 1, and down at the bottom, Sacha going to pressure this tier 1. So if they can at least grab 2 tier 1s in exchange for a tier 1 and a tier 2, might not be too bad. But we'll see how they want to do it. If Mouz want to go for this tier 2, they're going to have to do it pretty soon here. Going to wait for this creep wave. And they already did burn their Glyph. Exist does port to the bottom to try and repel Shotchlo. And in the mid, that duo going to give up the Glyph enough to repel him, and they are going to rotate towards the top. Still no Exorcism from Joe. And
no Exist either. This is a really questionable fight from Mouz. because Timbersaw can TP up there and it's going to be a 4-on-5, so they have to get out really quickly.
Yeah,
if he has a blink right now, it's going to be like a 2v3 or a 2-for-0 rather.
And a defensive exorcism comes out here as they are starting to back up, looking for an opportunity to maybe find an engage. Ace being very bold in the front lines, and he is going to get initiated on, going to go down to about half health. Sort of an odd exchange from Mouz right here. They're playing this very passive, though. They have the exorcism up. If they're going to have to fight, they might as well do it. Looks like Rise is going to fall. Dread going to be able to pick him off. Poured out from the Rubik now. Ace and Hesta Joe going to be trying to make it back to the base. Ace is going to get frozen. Silence comes out from Joe. Tame My Wild does have the lasso. Trying to catch the Death Prophet. Won't find him. He's just going to settle for the bristleback. I was giggling because Sachlo almost fell right there. Very close call. He had like, I don't know, maybe 10 hit points or so.
That was just a terrible idea by Mouz. They should have backed off. Ace was overcommitted to that fight. He was like, oh, if I get a couple cool spray sacks on him, maybe we can do something. But they should have just backed off as soon as Exist TP'd on bottom. They had the Death Prophet ultimate up, but it wore off by the time the fight actually happened. And actually, there wasn't really a fight, but it wore off close to the tail end when Bristleback got picked off. So that was just a very poor decision by Mouz. Now Batrider has his Blink Daggers, so a Relax can punish Mouz even harder for mistakes like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was another one of those kind of, for lack of a better term, pussyfooting around where Mouz sort of acted like they wanted to commit to the tier 2 and then they didn't, and they just sort of hung around and popped the exorcism to kind of just dance around. They should have either committed or backed up instead of kind of going back.
It's similar to the TPs from last game from Q Pandas. Like you either have to do it now or don't do it at all. And instead they wasted gold. It's very similar. They like you either just back off completely or you stay as 5 and give up the tower on bottom or give up some split pressure on bottom. So they just half-ass commit to one and it's not going to work out.
Yep, absolutely. And here in the mid, they're going to dive this tier 1 just a little bit. The acid spray does come down. And a concoction as well, but still Mouz seem a little bit in disarray here. The exorcism is going to get popped, and now they're going to commit to it.
His positioning is really bad right now. If he gets lassoed, he's going to die.
Yeah, well, that's the end of the tier 1 tower. Concoction come in. It is going to go on Tame My Wild. He'll blink backwards, of course, not going to be able to disjoin it. And it is going to chase him down, but he'll be in a safe location. And now maybe looking to reinitiate. Still has the lasso available. And
Midas on the Lion. So they're gearing up for the late game. Still very, very just slightly by Mouz. They're up by 3 towers, but the gold graph is only 3,000. So I think Relax is still ahead on gold if you subtract the tower gold. So that's not very good for Mouz right now. Death Prophet is going to have her Bloodstone. I think she actually needs a Linkens this game for the lasso, or just to put it on whoever gets lassoed. Looks like he's going to die.
Hesta Joe in a little bit of trouble here. He'll get caught by the Batrider, and KSI going to come in. That'll make for an easy kill on the Death Prophet. Still number 1 on the net worth chart, but not by much. May get overtaken here by the Batriders. He does clear out some stuff in the jungle. So I like Tame My Wild. Really been, as you mentioned, playing a great Batrider here. He's been so active about the map. Right now he is sitting 1, 2, and 4. So he has been involved in 5 of those 8 kills that Relax have been able to put up onto the scoreboard.
And he has the most CS in the game.
Yeah, that as well. A little bit inflated from doing those stacks in the jungle, but still.
Ace on bottom.
Farming very well, yeah. They are pressuring this bottom tier 1 tower. It looks like Ace is going to be the lone defender. Bristleback going to be enough to repel the forces of RX. And they are going to about face. Up in the top lane here, Nexus going to be going for the phase diffusal build. Not going to get the drums that you were talking about. Going to be going diffusal.
The reason why I don't like Diffusal is because it doesn't help your farm. Drums helps you farm a lot faster, but Diffusal is like mediocre. Hesta Joe getting initiated on no lasso though for 3 seconds, but he is nowhere close to his team. He's going to die.
Nice flame break. Yeah, he is going to pop the exorcism. Will get a silence off as well. Going to buy him a little bit of time, but not the best use of that ult cooldown.
Yeah, more again, he hesitated. If he casts it right as soon as they go on him, then he'll dissuade the gank and get enough damage on them so they can't initiate with the lasso. But if he waits, then oh wow, nice lift by Crit there as soon as he blinks in. He didn't actually use lasso for that last fight.
Yeah. Still has that up. Now Shotchlow gonna get stunned on here, and he very well may fall. The familiar is gonna be there. Not gonna be enough to keep him alive though, and that will be the end of the Timbersaw. Sorry,
it's just to complete on Spectre.
Yeah, my Death Prophet bugged out and she's totally bald. She looks like an ugly blood elf. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, that happened to me. That is what I see right now too.
Oh, yeah.
So now they're gonna push, and they don't have the Death Prophet ultimate for 50 seconds, which is a big deal because now Spectre is gonna get the T1 on top if they don't do something about it. So Mouz wants to put pressure, but they have to wait like 40 seconds because Relax can just stall. Timbersaw is going to revive. He can just TP Chakram and wait for them to come to them.
Yeah, they're going to start pressuring this tier 2. Looks like they may commit to it. No glyph available for RX. Still 25 seconds till Exorcism comes out. This tier 2 is going to fall. Is Spectre going to have the pushing power to finish off the top tier 1? Doesn't look like it. There is a glyph available. They will be able to
I'm
port
very
in.
surprised they didn't defend that, especially without Ghosts. It's a fairly easy fight for them to take. Spectre can TP in at any time too.
Right. Yeah, they could have held a little bit more of a stance there. Yeah, that's for sure.
No finger either. Those are pretty big cooldowns.
Yeah. Yeah, true. Well, Relax just trying to open up room, I guess, for the Spectre. And any other big item pickups here? Looks like Timbersaw going to be working towards a Bloodstone of his own. And Bloodstone reasonably close here for the Death Prophet. She does have that soul booster now, about 1,200 in the bank. So just about halfway to a Void Stone off. That Bloodstone exists. Did actually go an Armlet after the mech on that Alchemist as well. Don't see Armlet on Alchemist all too often, but definitely a good item. And we will see
It was a go-to build very early into 6.79.
Oh, yeah. And Shotchlo going to get stunned upon again. As to Joe, going to grab that kill. Batrider down here in kind of an odd position behind the tower. He is just going to Firefly into the trees and port out.
There's smoke by TMW. He's going to go on Ace here. I don't know if they can actually kill him, though. Not with 2. They need 1 more.
Oh, they're going to go for it. That's going to be the lasso. Nexus going to go in. KSI going to make it. Now going to be a 3v1. Freezing Field going to come out. Nexus going to back up to try and reset those quill stacks, but Ace just tanking it. He's going to turn it around on KSI.
Okay, exactly Bristleback good hero. Like, what? You tank 2 ultimates straight up, and he's at half HP.
Yeah. Well, now he may pay for it, though, as Tame My Wild comes back in. Trying to get on that front side. They will finish him off. Nexus comes in for that one last auto attack. But yeah, Bristleback showing us his power right there as he does tank those ultis and does turn it around on the CM. And with that, Hesta Joe now going to have his Bloodstone. And yeah, that defusal is complete.
No, they're going to put pressure on mid. There's a Bloodstone complete. There's an Exorcism. Guess go time for them. Spectre is still not like really far. 20 minutes in, 2,000 gold, phase defusal. That's mediocre. He is 3rd on net worth, right on par with Bristleback as well as Death Prophet and the Batrider. The big winner here apparently is Alchemist, who I didn't expect to have that much farm, but yeah. 2 value points in Grieval's Greed.
Yeah. And Batrider going to get caught right here. He's going to fall. He'll buy back straight away. Now KSI trying to poke forward here. The Spirit's doing a good little bit of harassment, poking away at the side of RX.
These are some really good lifts by Crit, though. Like, he's able to lift Batrider before he gets his lasso off. I think that's the 2nd time he's done that. And first time it didn't yield a kill, but the 2nd time it was just really good play by him.
So Mouz continuing to put on the pressure. They have a gold lead now, about 6,000 or 7,000, still trailing in terms of experience, but they're going to grab yet another tower kill here. And those inventories are going to start to really get out of control. All the while, Spectre did manage to kill that top tier 1 tower finally. That is going to make the tower count now 5-2 in favor of Mouz. But Spectre still taking over number 1 on the net worth chart. Maybe pulling up for that Radiance here. And, oh, there it is.
TMW doing there.
Oh, I got to it late. But Batrider is going to fall now. Exist going to get taken out. So they will get a little bit of a cleanup kill. Ace still going to hang around. He is going to turn. Nope. Just going to harass Dread a little bit. Death Prophet is on her way in, though. There's an Exorcism up in 10 seconds. So it looks like they could take a team fight here. Need to be a little careful. Going to throw a Silence. Won't connect. And let's see where Mal's going to go. Are they going to try and just press forward here into the tier 3? Knowing that Batrider's dead for another 30? I guess they
don't have enough mana on their heroes, and they don't have their Alchemist. If they had Alchemist, I still think it'd be slightly risky, but without the Alchemist, it's an easy call to get back. They also need to put pressure on Spectre. They also need to push out their side lanes, too. Oh, actually, looks like they're going for Roshan. I guess Batrider's down. Batrider will have lasso in 15 seconds, so I think they can do it in about 10.
Yep, Exorcism going to make this pretty easy for him. And the question is, who's going to grab the Aegis? I guess it's going to be the Bristleback. He has the smart choice here. Yep, going to go in his inventory.
Yeah, if Death Prophet dies with his Ghost, he won't have Ghost for his revive, so he's not as she's not as useful as Bristleback with the Aegis.
Yep, yeah, that definitely makes a lot of sense. Tame My Wild pressuring that tier 2 down here in the, well, up here in the top lane, I guess. Bristleback does port in, looking for an opportunity perhaps, but Batrider just going to move into the trees. He will be able to make it away. And how's Nexus doing here? Looks like he's going to grab himself a Manta. Does have the ultimate orb and working towards that Yasha. So.
Yeah, that's a damage build, but it's not... It's only good if you can like isolate heroes, but they haven't been that good at isolating. TMW has not been finding initiate during this team fights. Like we rarely see like a blink lasso into a clean kill, which was pretty much what every Batrider did in 6.78. But it's also really good play from the supports on Mouz, so you can't play him too much. Like he lassos, blink hex from Lion. He lassos or even blinks in, blink telekinesis. So yep. Ace.
Going to be the targeted choice. He is going to get lassoed here into a strange position. They're not going to have enough damage to finish him off. He will turn his back. That Aegis is going to get popped. So indeed, they do have the damage. And Lion also got picked off as well. Ace going to come back up. And freezing field from the low ground. Ace going to be in big trouble here. Down he goes. Relax going to make that a 2-0. And they're going to continue on. No exorcism up. Another 5 seconds. Mech does come out. Nexus in the front lines, trying to do what he can. Death Prophet's ulti is going to come. She's going to blow it right away, but she's going to fall shortly after. Again, not the best use of that cooldown. Really not a last-ditch effort kind of ulti.
Ace is way too far out of position. With the T1 down, he can't be out that far. And that's just the fight that Relax was looking for to get back into the game. 7,500 gold lead for Mouz, almost blown by 1 death. And they had the Aegis too, and they still didn't even kill 1 person. So that was a pretty much 4-for-0 trade, and they might even get the T1 in mid.
Yep, it's looking like it. Oh, Glyph gonna come out. That'll buy him some time. Finger of Death gonna finish off the Spectre.
So much damage.
Yeah, level 11 Lion with a blink now. That hand.
This is why I like drums on him, because he needs HP.
Yeah, especially against the Lion, you really need that HP buffer, and the Manta's not going to give you much. I mean, he already has the
4 levels of dispersion, but it only does so much.
Yeah. Yeah, he already has the survivability-based piece out of the Manta, so... really needs to... I think Heart is going to be a necessity here coming up.
Yeah, the supports on Mouz, they need ghosts and or forces, and they also need Lincolns to prevent the Batrider initiate. So the ghost is just so they don't get to like half HP during Batrider ult or during Spectre ultimate. Yeah, he can diffuse it off, but you're just using it for the haunt, not for the actual jump initiate.
Right, right. So, Mao's going to stay aggressive here. There is 1 outer tower remaining. Of course, it is this tier 2 up in the top lane that they have their sights set on. Hesta Joe going to have that ultimate coming up in just about 12 seconds. He's been playing an okay Death Prophet, but he's wasted that ulti just a couple of times. And that is one of those cooldowns that you really need to be careful about. But alas, they're going to be able to grab this top tier 2. And this is a situation where he's not going to have to burn the Exorcism. So now if they want to press into the tier 3s... going to be a little bit rough, but they are going to have the ability to do it if they so choose.
Well, finally, they're all 5 together. Finally, they have the Death Prophet ultimate up at an opportune time. So this is a very good timing for Mouz, something that they've been looking for most of the game. Not a huge fan of Death Prophet's build. Bloodstone, Plate Mail, like with the armor, what's it useful for? What's physical damage is there on Relax? It's pretty much nothing.
Yeah, and here we go. Batrider going to grab the Death Prophet. He's going to pull her into the base, and she's going to get dropped at the beginning of this fight. Mech going to get popped by RX, and I think they're going to be able to hold. KSI going to be out of the base, maybe a bit too far. Flame Break going to mess it up a bit. She's still going to fall. And now they're going to press out. Ace going to be the target of choice, perhaps. Going to take a lot of damage. Chakram going to cut him down. Rise in a bit of trouble as well. Compliment to those Visage Familiars. Down goes the Bristleback. Down goes the Lion. And this is a great hold from RX. They're going to be able to get a 4-for-1 right here. Crystal Maiden, the only one that they're going to lose. And, yeah, Death Prophet. I thought she bought back for a second, but just those Bloodstone charges. Crit, not going to get off scot-free either. Down he goes.
They didn't get the counter initiate on Bat. They either need a Blink Hex or Telekinesis. If Death Prophet dies with Exorcism out, the fight's over from there. So RX just definitely taking opportunity. That nice play by the Batrider there, and just not so nice play from Mouz. Again, the item choice is like Bloodstone. Yeah, you're right, but your whole team's dead. He needs a Lincoln so he doesn't get initiated on. So he can't just beat on the tower and force Batrider to either blow his Force Staff on him so that he doesn't get pulled out of position way too early. Oh, he's actually going to get caught again.
Batrider, so much range here. Now Hesta Joe going to be in big trouble. Flame Break comes out. They might not be able to finish him off, but still, that'll buy him a little bit of time. Oh, the Finger of Death.
Finger.
Batrider gonna fall. That damage.
This is where the Midas comes into play, because if he wasn't a level 11 for the Spectre kill, he wouldn't have gotten the kill on Spectre with the level. Well, with level 1 finger, it wouldn't have done the trick. But now with Midas kicking in and him getting so much experience from that, Mouz is doing very well in that aspect. They would do Roshan now if it were up, but it's still another 3 minutes. Looks like they're going for another push. They could do the T3 on top. They should definitely swing by there instead of going through mid because they have a pretty small window when Bat Rider is up, and that tower is already at 400 HP. They have no glyph, so it would just be much easier and quicker for them to go up there.
As you mentioned, no glyph. Bat Rider without a buyback as well. 20 seconds in the grave. They should be able to secure this tier 3. There's the Exorcism used again by Death Prophet. You know, this seems like the kind of game that Yules would have been a good choice here for Death Prophet, so she can get that reset if she gets initiated on. But we'll hold that bit of analysis here as it looks like this team fight is going to transpire. Sachlo going to be the target of choice. He is going to get pulled forward. And the freezing field comes out. Rubik is going to be the first to fall. Looks like the racks are going to get taken out, though. Not going to be the fight that Mouz are looking for, but they are going to get what they came for. They're going to try and turn it about face. Alchemist going to be able to finish off the Visage, but down goes the Death Prophet. And Ace trying to come back in, looking for somewhere to reinitiate. Range racks still up. Tame My Wild is going to be back. Lasso used on Exist, and that will secure the kill. Onto the old Alchemist there. Ace going to be the lone survivor. And I don't know how much longer that's going to last. Not too long here. He will get converged on. And that was a buyback from the Spectre. So it was a 2 for 5 buyback from the Spectre. They get the tier 3 and the melee racks.
I'd say Mouz came out slightly behind on that, but still not a bad trade getting a Rax. If the Roshan were up, I think that's a big win for Relax because they just need to get past the mid game without Spectre dying too much. But as well as TMW has been playing, he still got picked off there, and that's what led to the whole entire thing. If he just took out the tower and they just backed off, Mouz wouldn't have even been presented that opportunity at all. So some good plays, some misplays here and there. But all in all, Mouz being 5 dead is not that big of a deal because Roshan is not. If they secure the next Roshan, I think they can take out team fight win. I don't even think they can take out a T3. They're still way weaker compared to where they should be. The gold graph about 5,500, but if Relax ever gets in a position to take out these T2s or Spectre gets a heart on him, then Mouz is going to be in a lot of trouble, which should be actually pretty soon.
And Spectre's working on it. He's got that vitality booster, so going to be pulling up for the Reaver. Not much in the bank, but still well on his way as he starts to clear out the jungle. So yeah, Yules on the Death Prophet. Do you think this would have been a game for the old Divinity?
Is like the phase drums Yules. I do that like all the time. It's just not a bad build at all. You have move speed, which is useful versus most situations, so you can run out of Grave Chill, you can run out of Timbersol, Chakram, you can run out of Crystal Maiden, Frost Nova, and the Yules is nice that they initiate on anybody but you because the Blink Lasso will just get completely countered by a Yules initiate, counter initiate rather. And if they initiate on him, then he has to rely on his Lion and Rubik. But even if he gets initiated upon, as you said, he can kind of just buy himself a few seconds time with the Exorcism up just by throwing himself up in the air.
Yeah.
But the Shivas is like, the slow is not very useful. And the armor is even more useless. Like 15 armor, it doesn't do much at all. Like Visage, he's pretty much the one that does the most physical damage. Spectre does a lot of pure damage with dispersion and Desolate.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, Desolate's pure too.
Oh yeah, you're right about that. That added damage. So you're right. Armor not that great against Spectre. I guess his right clicks will start to get a little scarier, but that is not the primary damage output. So I do agree with you. Shiva's is not, I mean, even just a Yules after the Bloodstone. I think even if he went Yules as his third item, it would still come in handy here. It's just one of those items you can't go wrong with on DP.
I think Lincoln, like phased drums, Yules, Lincolns, I think would have been the best build here. Just because he's making it way too easy for Bat Rider. Bat Rider just like blink lassos, pulls back, easy kill. Mouz loses the fight from there. That's how it's happened like a couple of times thus far. And even if he doesn't get Yules, he just dumps it on the person immediately after, so they don't get frostbitten in place immediately after, or grave chill, and they have like somewhat of a chance of escaping. Bristleback, I also think may need a BKB. Timbersol is just chewing through his HP with the Whirling Death and that stat reduction. So if he can survive that, get enough cool spracks up, so cool spray stacks up before Timbersol does too much damage. And Timbersol has a BKB too, so it's not like you can actually kill the Timbersol before he's going to be able to do his burst.
Right, and it looks like Bristleback here is going to be grabbing an Assault Kuras, does have himself a Hyperstone, so for whatever reason, Mouz seem very serious about stacking up armor, and I'm not sure where that motivation is coming from. Between a Shivas and Assault Kuras...
Minus armor is okay for an opponent, but yeah, plus armor on their own team is just... it's not useful.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, AC is, I guess, the best of both worlds on that front. You get some and you lose some on, or just the negative debuff.
Yeah, AC's fine.
Yeah, a good item on
even the Vanguard. The Vanguard on Bristleback, like, where's the block coming into play? Like Timbersaw, CM, Spectre, Batrider, it's just not useful. So like a pipe, I think, would have been better for him. HP is good on Bristleback too, instead of mitigation. So you tax, but
yeah, there's some interesting choices here from Mouz. They do have their cooldowns up, though, and they are ready to try and take another team fight. Now, the difference is Roshan has respawned. So, as you mentioned, if they do another one of these kind of suicide, kamikaze, let's go all in and try and finish off another lane of Rax, it could really cost them if RX have that opportunity to move into the Roche pit.
Oh, he lifts a creep instead of Nexus.
Oh, no.
If they get Nexus there, they take an easy Roshan. They might still take an easy Roshan, but Nexus doesn't even have a buyback, whereas the Visage does. So that would have been a really big kill for them. And as crit, just definitely misclick with the telekinesis.
Yep. So Visage did die. He bought back instantly, and Spectre still on cooldown from that last buyback, as you mentioned. So here things could get a little bit sticky for RX if they're not careful in this next team fight. BOT is now going to come out on the Timbersaw. But
Batrider's king of Roshan, though.
Yeah, Mao's going to move right into Roche. That minus armor, he's going to drop pretty quick. Visage will scout it out with the familiars. Batrider going to come in. He's going to grab Joe. He's going to pull him into no man's land up on the side of the Dire shop. Shiva's going to be used. Is he going to blow the ultimate? No, he's going to save it. There is no buyback on the Death Prophet, though. He's not 900 gold short. And now things are looking a little bit scary for Mouz. Death Prophet will be back up in 30. But
making things way too easy for Batrider. He didn't need a smoke. He just straight up blink lasso 4-7 to his team. It's just the same thing every time without any counter initiation from their supports, without any way to stop that. Mouz is just going to keep on losing and losing fights. So they either have to get the jump on Batrider or get a pick up before, so they don't have enough damage on the Death Prophet to kill him in that burst. And Nexus, he has 1700 gold and Aegis now, so they're gonna have to take him down twice. And Mouz lost the last time they got the Aegis, they just got crushed. And now that the Aegis is on Relax's side, Mouse's chances are very, very they're getting slimmer by the second.
Yeah, and with this kind of pushing strat based around the Death Prophet, that kind of good rule of thumb is that 30-minute mark. That's when the carries start to take over and your pushing prowess becomes a little bit less effective. They are going to find themselves a free kill under the Crystal Maiden compliments of that smoke, so that is good news. CM does have a buyback available, so not the highest target, the highest value target, but still a kill nonetheless. But yeah, this is right around that point where Spectre is starting to take over and their pushing is just not what it once was. Spectre with the 2k in the bank is working towards that Reaver, still trying to get his heart about halfway there, but still a ways to go.
Yeah, they need some sustainability though. Maybe Urns too, just because they have an Urn on Rubik. They just take so much damage from Dispersion that I don't think they can push even if they kill him twice.
Yeah.
Looking for Tamar.
Yeah, he's going to take a nice path here. He will fly into the trees and just going to keep blinking and force staving. And this Batrider, man. So mobile. Looks like he is working towards a BKB. He does have that Ogre Club and quite a bit of gold in the bank. We'll see if he wants to grab something. Just hiding in the trees here. Possibly setting up if an initiation comes, but just hiding for now.
Mouz still feels a lot of pressure because Spectre is just getting close to out of control, and Ace has been shut down pretty hard by the Timbersaw. Death Prophet has been shut down very hard by the Batrider.
Yeah.
Oh, what a waste of BKB.
Who popped it? Sorry, I missed that.
Alchemist.
Oh wow.
He tried to initiate on Batrider. Batrider just 4-stepped away.
Ew. Visage working towards his Ag Scepter, and he actually has it now. He may want to pool for buyback, but does have the gold. Nope, just going to purchase it right there. So that's another, well, big item choice for RX going in their favor. That third bird does help quite a bit.
Yes, it certainly does. Checking AC status, still a bit of ways on Bristleback. I think at this point, when it's like 3.5 minutes until Aegis expires, they should just wait until Aegis expires, and then after that try and go for a gank. They have the Blink Hex online, which will plus any burst from his team is a guaranteed kill on like any one of their heroes. Maybe not Spectre twice, but still anybody else. So I think they need to initiate with him instead of the Alchemist for that instant initiation. That Hex is ridiculously long duration too, 4 seconds right now. And unless Bat Rider's there to force staff him away, then they'll probably get an easy kill. There's no force staff on any of the other supports.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man, I had a thought and I just lost it. Last game of the day. I'm starting to get tired here, Merlini. Didn't have a big enough breakfast today.
Get your Wheaties.
Totally lost it, yeah. Totally lost it. I had a point and it just flew out the window. Lion does have a scepter now as well. Man, that might is starting to kick in.
Yeah, but he's still like very squishy.
Holy.
1262.
At level 16 with Scepter, it's a 20-second cooldown? Jeez.
Yeah, the thing is ridiculous.
That's insane. I knew it was low. I thought it was 40. That 20 is like...
It's normally 40.
That's insane. Yeah, wow.
Oh, wait, no, it's normally 60? I don't know. It's still really low, though.
Yeah, that's still 20 is just... That's not even an ultimate. That's just a regular ability. But, oh, here we go. Bat Rider. He's going to catch Rise. And, well, that Finger of Death not going to save you here. Down he goes. Bat Rider going to grab that last hit. And him and Shotchlo. Oh, man. Well, I guess Mouz didn't want to push anyway until that Aegis expires. But still, free kill going the way of RX.
Yeah, Mouz needs picks right now. Relax, very good map control right now. Gold grass swinging back in their favor, and that's without a tower down, or without 2 T2 tower zones. So Mouz is leading the tower count by 3 right now, and they're still at 0 gold. So things are going very, very badly for Mouz. If the next Aegis goes to Relax uncontested, then they can pretty easily win this game. Just dump both on Spectre, and he'll have slots for it too. He's having his heart completed in about 300, 400 gold, and then with Aegis Cheese, you just run in just wildly with him and just tank so much damage from the other team, and it's very easy to win from there because he'll get vision for Bat Rider. He'll just get another easy lasso kill like they have been all game.
Mm-hmm. And the point that I was going to make is the experience graph is one that's very scary here. If you look at the levels, there's a lot of red floating up towards the top. RX do have the level advantage by a pretty big margin. Highest level on the side of Mouz is now going to be Alchemist. Just going to dig 16. Oh, God. Oh, bottom. There. Sacha.
He baited out TPs, and then Rise blink stunned. Blink stunned. Oh, I thought it almost got 2 of them. He almost got the Bat Rider too, but he blink stunned Timbersaw as he was TPing out, and that's a pretty high priority kill. Unfortunately, Timbersaw had like 18, 19 bloodstone charges, so he instantly revived. But they do grab the gem from him.
Yeah, carrying that gem does make it a higher value target. Sorry, I did miss that one. But yeah, it still has 14 charges on the bloodstone as well. But yeah, that is going to be the heart on the Spectre, who is level 21, highest level by far here. 3 up on Alchemist, who is 18.
Mm-hmm.
Adding to his tankiness. So now Relax.
It's just looking like a really weak pick this game because the guy doesn't really know how to play it very well. I'm a hater because I like Death Prophet so much.
Yeah. Well, we're almost at that point where Relax can choose to be the aggressors here. Now that this Spectre is picking up a good bit of momentum here and has that heart, he may want to pool for buyback.
They need to wait for buyback, yeah. They need to wait for buyback and Aegis. This next Roshan fight is just going to be so important. It will pretty much seal Relax's victory, and it will give Mouz a chance to get back into the game.
Yep.
Not that they're that much of underdogs right now because they have Rax down, but the momentum shift, the way the pace of the game is going, they're pretty well slated to lose the next couple of team fights or just get ganked and pushed.
Yeah. Well, they are going to press forward here, and I don't know, Relax in kind of an odd position. Of course, they do have a glyph.
They have BKB on Bat Rider. This is just probably not that great of an idea, but we'll see.
Exorcism gets popped. Glyph comes out right away. Where's the initiation? It's going to be Bat Rider. Got a little lag kick up there, but it looks like we're back. And, oh, it's just going to be a disaster. Hesta Joe taking a lot of damage. He does finish off that Tier 3 tower, but it is going to cost him his life. The rest of the fight, they're going to try and finish off the Alchemist here. Off in the side shop, KSI actually going to get finished off. Finger of Death does come out, but the rest of the team in big trouble. Alchemist did fall. Now Ace taking a lot of damage. This is that point of the game where Bristleback just starts to fall off. Those spines don't hurt nearly as much as they did. And Crit did steal the Frost Field, or Freezing Field, pardon me, but yeah, that was just a complete and utter disaster for Mouz. And Yeah, I don't know
Yeah,
at this
that's another
point.
team wipe. Roshan's not up, so not the worst thing in the world, but still pretty bad. They're trading so heavily for these buildings. And Spectre's just getting huge. Now he has buyback money, and yeah, they just can't do anything about Batrider now. He's just way too fat, and they screwed up so many fights before with just easy lassos. And Batrider never getting picked off. If he doesn't have BKB yet, they have a chance of counter initiating. But he just homed in on the Death Prophet. Death Prophet was in the middle of all the heroes. He just straight up just blinks, and BKBs walks in on her, and then lassos back up into the T3. So just not a good fight for them. Death Prophet needs a anti-initiate mechanism. Yule's Ghost Scepter,
Lincoln's, any of those.
Lincoln's, even Bloodstone boosted travel would work.
Well, she is down to three charges on that Bloodstone. Now going to grab a Vitality booster, so maybe going for a heart. Just going to try to go for raw HP, it seems. An interesting choice. Tier 2 in the mid lane does fall. Yeah. Raw HP isn't bad, I think, if he had one of those core items already to reset or give him some sort of a way to deal with it. And then raw HP is great, but just raw HP, I think, is not as good of a value.
It's the same story every fight. It's just lasso the Death Prophet and then win the fight and just focus all you have on her. And then after that, everyone else on Mouz will fall. Yeah. So the question is, can Mouz actually keep up the lead? Can they secure Roshan? Can they actually get down another Rax before Relax gets too big? Relax, they're like one team fight away from getting too big for Mouz to handle.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And here Nexus is, well, got about 3K in the bank. I don't know what his next item is going to be, but we'll see him get executive pretty quickly here. On the Dire side, they do not have a glyph
they see a ward. They dropped a ward. They know that they're there.
Uh-oh, here we go. Now Tame My Wild going to be in trouble. This could be the initiation that Mouz are looking for. Batrider is going to be the first to fall in this fight. Exorcism comes out, and it's just chaos here in the mid lane. That's going to be the end of the Batrider and the Visage. Mouz going to take a good fight here. The Visage buys back, but they are going to lose their Death Prophet. Are they going to be able to continue pressing forward? They want to try and finish off Nexus here. He does have money for buyback. Ace continuing to dive deep. He's stacking up that nasal goo, and they're going to go for it. Nexus is going to fall. Lion now going to come in. Ultra kill coming out for exist on that Alchemist. Is it going to be a Rampage? Yes, it is. The Rampage now going to come out. He is going to fall in the end. A very back and forth engage. Buybacks coming out all over the place. One from the Visage, one from the Spectre as well. And now Mouz on the back foot. They're going to have to retreat, but talk about a good team fight right there. Crit still might not get off scot-free. He stole the... that is the weirdest looking thing I've ever seen.
He's dead, though.
He's riding his broom. It almost looked like he was going slower. Oh man.
Relax can get Aegis Cheese on Nexus now, and they can end the game, or just wait for Spectre buyback. But they should not. They don't need to push a T3 right now. They're not under that much pressure to do so. I guess TMW can come back, but one Rax is not that big of a difference for them. Whereas securing the Aegis and Cheese and ensuring that they win the next team fight is a bigger deal than them. So it's not ideal that they go for T3, and it's going to take them a while to do it because Spectre's actually pretty bad at sieging towers, and they don't have any creeps.
Yeah.
So Relax not with the best decision here.
Oh, but Batrider's going to be here.
Looks like Hesijo's going to die again.
Oh, no. Death Prophet going to be in big trouble. He's down to 2 charges on that Bloodstone, so he'll be dead for another 60 seconds. Does have a buyback. Creep's now going to make it in. No glyph available for Mouz, and this could be bad news bears. I think Death Prophet going to have to use this buyback. She's going to burn it indeed. Exorcism is up. Now, what are Relax going to do? Are they going to commit, or are they going to turn? Looks like they are going to about face. Flame Break comes out. It will slow down Ace. Looks like he's trying to continue on here. And after forcing that buyback, Relax are just going to get out. Or are they? Thinking about reinitiating here. Tame My Wild wants it. Doesn't have the Flaming Lasso, though. Gonna have to wait.
Mouz needs Roshan right now. If they don't take Rosh right now, they will lose the game. Because Death Prophet is just going to get Blink BKB initiated on. Unless we see another Abyssal on the Batrider, again, they're going to lose the fight. So very nice play by Exist, Abyssaling the Batrider before he can get the Lasso off right outside that T3 in mid. And looks like they were almost got TMW there, but they don't have a gem, so the Observer Ward on Relax will spot them out. Yeah, if they want to do Roshan. Spectre has his ultimate up too, but looks like everyone will be able to get there.
Oh, they are going to smoke up. I'm still surprised that they went for that tier 3 tower instead of Roshan. That, I mean, an Aegis would have done so much more than just grabbing that tier 3 tower.
Aegis and Cheese.
Yeah, and Cheese. Yeah, third Rosh. I mean, that just, especially with the back door
protection. They did force a buyback out of Hesijo, but it's still much, much safer to get the Aegis and the Cheese.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Mouz will smoke up here, though. They are a 5-man unit. Going to be on the high ground outside the Roche pit, just scouting around, seeing if Relax are stationed about the pit. Of course, dire vision. They're not going to see it. Compliments of the smoke. There is a ward up here on the high ground, but no visual confirmation that Roshan is under heavy assault. Roche falling very quickly. They've got a lot of minus armor. He's going to blow the Exorcism here as well. A bit of overkill. Probably didn't need to burn that big ulti, but they are going to get third
They didn't
Roche.
give the Aegis to Death Prophet? That's somewhat surprising, since he's been dying all the time.
Gave it to the Alchemist.
I would say, oh, BKB initiate.
Oh, Alchemist going to be the target. He's going to get grabbed by the Flaming
He has
Lasso.
the Aegis, though, and a BKB. That's not the right target.
Yeah, that's going to be the end of the Flaming Lasso. No follow-up damage going to come. He'll pop the BKB. 2 fights kind of starting to transpire here. The Death Prophet ulti is still on, but not for long. Going to expire about halfway through this fight. Neither side going to lose anyone to start things off. Though it looks like Relax do have the better of the HP pools right now. The ultimate from Spectre coming out. KSI going to use a BKB freezing field. Rubik falls. Exists taking a lot of damage here. He is going to survive. For now, at least. Nope, there he goes. Timbersaw going to come in around the backside. Things looking very grim for Mouz right here. Down goes the Bristle back. Now Alchemist pops back up from the Aegis. He's going to fall right away. Oh, no. There's only 2 left alive for Mouz. Let's take a look at the buybacks. And it's not looking too good. Lion has it. No, never mind. They all have buybacks. Why did I say that? Words coming out of my mouth that I don't mean. They are all going to buy back. But it's not going to be enough. That's a dieback from the Lion. No, it's not. I'm all over the place here, Merlini. He's dead.
He has a buyback. So they can still
has it, okay.
fight 4 strong actually. So 4 versus 4. That's not the best thing, not the worst thing. Spectre has buyback too. So Relax should just back off right now and then wait for their cooldowns and like haunt and then just fight again. So Mouz still 1 team fight after that 1 team fight away from losing the game after using that many buybacks. That was with Aegis and Cheese. So without Aegis and Cheese, it should be very straightforward for Relax. So
yeah.
All they need to do is just get a decent lasso and a haunt initiate, and then they should win the game. So it's really on Mouz. They have to make big plays. They have to pick someone off. They have to be able to pick Bat Rider off. They have to kill Spectre twice. All these things just aren't looking well for them. Now Bat Rider is against oh boy.
Yep. And it looks like Spectre is going to be working towards Butterfly. Does have that Talisman of Evasion. In terms of buyback, for Mouz, every single player is on cooldown except, let's see, Lion's on cooldown, Death Prophet, Bristleback. Is literally everyone's buyback on cooldown here? Everyone except the Rubik. So, yeah, for Relax, take another promising team fight here. That is going to be the big disparity that will result in a victory. But yeah, that Lincoln's on Bat Rider going to make their lives that much more difficult here. There's a Sheep Stick on the Timbersaw as well. And finally, a Vlad's Offering coming out. Any item progression here on the Alchemist? Nope, did have to burn it all on buyback. Still just with that Abyssal Blade is the last pickup.
They were able to kite him around so much too. His Chemical Rage was used during Roshan, so it was down pretty much almost immediately after the end of the lasso. And then after that, he can't do any damage. And he doesn't want to pop all his cooldowns because he won't have anything up left for after the BKB. So that was just very nice play by Relax there.
Yeah, absolutely. Smoke used by Mouz, all 5 of them. They're going to group up and press through the dire jungle here. They're looking for a pick. As you mentioned, exactly what they need to do right here. Crit is in the front lines. It is going to get revealed. Who are they going to grab? It's going to be the Timbersaw. He will BKB straight away. Hesta Joe going to get the ult off, but he is going to get taken out. He'll get lassoed. They're trying to focus him down. Down he goes. Bristleback going to fall as well. Things looking a bit grim for Mouz right here. It's a 3-for-0 exchange to start things off. Alchemist going to get dropped, and now Rubik going to fall as well. It's going to be a clean sweep. Triple kill coming out for Nexus. And I think that might be the nail in the coffin here, Merlini.
It's
no
too
buyback.
obvious. Too obvious for Mouz because they're in such a desperate situation that the only way they can win a fight if it's not actually a 5-on-5 fight. So they have to go for a pick right now. Spectre has buyback too, so even if they kill him, they'll take so much dispersion damage. He just buys back, haunts in, and they will all die. And without buybacks, this is the last breath for Mouz. There's no way they can come back from this.
Yep, absolutely not. Literally not a buyback available, and they're all going to be down. Rubik will be the first to come up here in about 35 seconds. And I think Relax can just push for the win. They don't.
It was a nice attempt by Mouz, but they were just simply out of options at that point. That was pretty much their only option because if they wait, then Relax will just get a pick off and end the game. So Mouz, they just did not execute some of the team fights they were. They had a very significant lead. Looking at the goal graph, it was 8,000 in lead of Mouz, but just unable to sustain it. Poor item choices and just poor initiation in team fights. Like they weren't able to lift the Bat Rider before BKB, or when he didn't have the BKB, they still lost all the team fights. And when he gets BKB, it's almost certain that they're going to win all the team fights.
Yeah, still very questionable item pickups from that Death Prophet. And like you said, the armor not really coming in handy here. A really intense game, though. Not over quite yet.
Back too, I think.
Hesta Joe.
He could have gone like a pipe instead and help out his team. Like he can get a pipe and help out Death Prophet while she gets lasted.
Yep, that's very true. And they are just going to get cleaned up here. A very intense game, though. 51 minutes of gameplay. A great match to end on here for our Day 15 coverage. A good last match for you as well.
Much better than the last one.
Huh?
Much better than our last one.
Yes, a little bit less one-sided. So, although it didn't work out for Mouz, still a very action-packed game and an interesting strategy. Always happy to see a Death Prophet, even if it doesn't work for him.
Yeah, I wonder if Hesta Joe is going to be a permanent addition to their team. Mostly it's been Unicorn XOXO, but Hesta Joe did very, very well on the Storm Spirit yesterday versus Alliance? I don't know. Very, very well on the Storm Spirit, so... I think that he's still a very good stand-in. He just I think he's more of the carry type player or Storm.
Yeah, definitely. His DP was okay, but not the best we've seen. That's for sure. So guys, thank you for joining us here Day 15 of Starladder Season 8 on Beyond the Summit. This is your English coverage for Starladder. We appreciate you joining us. I am Zyori. Joining me today was Merlini, but this was the very last day of Starladder for you, right? You won't be back at all?
Yeah, maybe later in season, but I'll probably be after the holidays.
Okay.
BTS is moving, and I am moving along with them.
Oh, okay. You're part of the studio shuffle. All right. Exactly why I'm filling in here for the BTS crew. So good luck with your moves.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Zyori. It's been a pleasure casting with you.
Oh,
You've done a fantastic job thus far, and you seem very committed and good caster overall. Well,
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure working with you.
I appreciate that, man. Believe me, the pleasure is mine, though. I've already learned so much just from your bit of insight, man. It's really been a pleasure. So, all right, good luck in the move, my friend. And that does wrap up our coverage today, guys. Make sure you guys both follow on Twitter at ZyoriTV and at Merlini Dota. They are in the title of this broadcast. Stay up to date with everything that we're up to. That's it for today, though. We'll see you tomorrow, 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. The same old routine, Day 16 of Starladder will continue on in the round robin.